Hi everyone, welcome to day 42 of Project 365. Awesome. This is my third time trying to record something because every time I choose a topic to talk about, I end up rambling for a good 15 minutes. So I'm trying to choose something that is a little more concise so I can, actually focus on the topic, do a quick, 7 or 8 minute video on the topic, and then move on. However, I break off into tangents, so, let's try this again. Today, I'm going to talk about prostitution. Why not? Okay, so, personally, I feel that prostitution should be legalized. Now, I'm sure a few of you will go into a general huzzah about, well, why do you want to legalize prostitution? So far that I can think of off the top of my head, there's 4 reasons, possibly 3. That would have been awkward if I had went 3, 4, but whatever. Anyway, my reasoning is a 3 or 4-fold. I'm not sure what it is, but let's just go with it. Okay, so reason numero uno. We have no right to tell people what they can or cannot do with their bodies. Generally speaking, I mean, that doesn't leave room to say, well, wouldn't us condemning murder be telling people what they can or cannot do with their body? Well, yes, but let me be a little more specific. We should not be able to tell people what they can or cannot do with their bodies as long as what they are doing does not interfere with another person's rights. Now, when that comes to abortion, there's a huge argument about whether or not the baby's rights are infringed on, and I feel that personally, unless it's the 3rd trimester or something like that, the baby isn't a baby. Sorry if you don't agree with that. But until the 3rd trimester, it's pretty much a fetus. So do not even try starting to say, oh hey, abortion, blah blah blah. Shut up. Go watch my abortion video. I pretty much explained how I feel about abortion there. I think that was like day 20 something, so just scroll back and look. So as long as the person isn't infringing upon someone else's rights, then I feel that we should not be able to tell them what they can or cannot do with their bodies. That being said, the fact that we have prostitution sort of in this condemned, mindset, it's kind of silly, because essentially what prostitution is someone offering their goods, I made it funny, or services for money. And it's essentially a carpenter, an electrician, a plumber. Just this person is using their body as their means of doing so. Now, do I think someone should go out and do this? No. I personally wouldn't do it. I personally find it degrading. But that's only because we have this mindset in society that it is degrading. But I don't think that should stop us from allowing someone the option of doing it. Which brings me to my second reason. Like I said, in society we have this view, more often than not, that when you see a prostitute, you think of it as a degrading position that they're putting themselves in. Now, I personally find the act of doing so degrading, but that doesn't mean I find the position degrading. It's only degrading because we as a society say it is. So that should really not determine whether or not something is legal or not. Coming up to my 3rd reason, if we were to make it legal, there's obviously, of course, steps that would be taken. There would be regulation. Most things in life would work with regulation, i.e. pots, general drugs. Now, I'm not saying that we should legalize heroin or anything, but just generally speaking, within regulation, most things can be controlled. I mean, look at the difference between Prohibition, 1920s, and shortly thereafter when we legalized alcohol and regulated it. Generally speaking, things got better. But if we were to regulate prostitution, create things like bi-weekly and monthly tests, have the workers require their patrons to use condoms, stuff like that, we could effectively allow the job to happen while lowering jail populations and thus relieve the overcrowding in jails. And we would also, with proper regulation, be able to stop the spread of STDs. Presently, STDs are prevalent within the community, or within the prostitution arena, because it is illegal. Therefore, most people tend to hurriedly do things in fear of getting caught, and in doing so, they unwittingly do not use protection, and that leads to the spread of STDs. However, with proper regulation, that wouldn't be an issue. If you look at Las Vegas or the Red Line District, generally speaking, they don't have an STD epidemic because they regulate it. They require testing, bi-weekly and monthly testing. I think bi-weekly is for chlamydia and gonorrhea, and monthly is for AIDS, HIV, and there's one other one. But nonetheless, they require testing, regular testing, and essentially the prostitute or something gets a verification that they've been tested recently. So basically what you would do is, when you go up to said purveyor of goods, you would ask to see their papers, and if they've been tested recently, you know you're okay and that you're in the clear. So I don't see why that isn't why prostitution would be an issue if you could regulate it in that way. So, I mean, generally speaking, I don't see why it is made illegal. I feel that doing so makes it dogmatic and makes it associated with the stigma of like this whole idea that, generally speaking, when we think of prostitutes, we think of them as crack whores and stuff like that, when it's a legitimate career. I mean, the fact that it's illegal is the only reason why it generates this negative connotation to it. So, I don't know. I guess my question for the day is, how do you feel about the subject? Feel free to leave comments below. I'm curious to see what you guys have to say. So yeah. Also, about yesterday, I apologize for the lateness of the video and for the swiftness of the video. I was in a clinch for time because I was so busy cleaning yesterday. But it's nice because I have my room clean now, so I can just sit back, talk to the camera, and record. It's a nice change from yesterday. But yeah, so that is it. That's all I really have to say about the topic. I probably will think of more things once I'm done, but I guess I'll leave that open for questions. So below or wherever, go ahead, leave comments, questions, concerns, considerations, quandaries, any other thing with a k sound. I couldn't think of anything else, and questions and quandaries would be the same thing. Pontifications. But yes, so that is it for today, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. Hope you have a great day. Bye now.